let's talk about verbal booking and the rest properly and the markups and the rest, right? Does it mean that Airbnb has become more expensive? Does it mean that I should now, because that's what I saw on LinkedIn, right? Some people are like, Airbnb is ripping us off. I'm gonna quit Airbnb. Just like people gonna leave a country, but I'm gonna quit Airbnb. I'm gonna quit Airbnb, or I'm gonna just put all my availability possible on verbal, or I'm gonna go direct. Again, how to think through this? Let's calmly think about distribution costs. What has happened? What is more expensive? Is anything more expensive or not? Is there a strategy to do to rebalance? What are you seeing in the market? What are people doing?
If you're a professional host, you have to be in all of them. You cannot drop one. You have to be, let's say, mature about this. You can have, I have grudges from time to time for various platforms for things that have happened. And yes, certainly Airbnb is not on my happy list right now with all these things that are happening. But we're professionals. We have to be everywhere. What is important is that we price correctly and we do our markups and we do our calculations so that we have the same price everywhere, or we don't lose money. Let's put it this way.
To me, I know 0.5% doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually the bigger deal in my mind because that's actually Airbnb grabbing more of your money. That's like literally they raised their fee, right? So Hari and everyone, the rest of the world, Airbnb has kind of taken more out of your pocket because now they're taking more of what the guest is paying. In the US, again, if you make this adjustment, what the guest has been paying and what you've been getting paid out more or less stays about the same at this point in time. So while it seems much more dramatic for the US market, in my mind, I'm like, oh, those sneaky something or other, they're starting to inch little by little and take small percentages at a time. And I can imagine next year it'll go up to 16%. And that's what they're doing in Brazil. They inched up to 16% for Brazil. So that's actually the bigger concern in my mind, even though it seems like such a small percentage.
Yeah, I agree here as well, right? So in the sense that if you start increasing the fees the guests are paying, as we saw, they are agree even bigger pro and the line is bigger, this line disappeared. So if they increase what they take from property managers, who will notice, right? It's not going to be a fee. We will see it, we will feel it. And then that's what makes it interesting to see, right? And we did the calculation and I agree, right? Prices are not the same. You do need to make a move. You can't just eat it up because it's something that's very important. But again, on the other hand, what to think of, because Booking.com is taking even higher commissions, right? So that's now, in a way, maybe Airbnb can do the same game. Now, why not have them launch a program for you to rank higher and take 2% more commission? Possible. Do you understand why people said, no, I'm gonna be increasing my book direct, try to get more direct bookings? Does that make sense as a consequence to this, or what do you think of that?
I always think that booking direct and pushing for book direct is going to be a wise move. It doesn't matter what Airbnb is doing. You want to own your guest experience from start to finish. This shouldn't really change that. If you're scrambling right now to put into effect a book direct strategy, rather than make these adjustments, I think that actually wouldn't be as prudent as just making the adjustments and then coming up with a solid book direct strategy where you're able to collect your guest information. That's another story though. There's a lot of fear mongering, for lack of a better word, about this going around social media, going around LinkedIn about this. And I really just think that if you take action wisely, it's not as dramatic as most people are making it out to be.
I agree. Now it makes your own website 0.5% cheaper, at least. So it is, it's an incentive for guests. We have guests, and actually in Europe, we have the advantage now that they're legally obliged, if you're a company, to have all the company's details in the profile. So if somebody is, let's say, clever enough, they can find our website very easily from that. It's surprising how many people cannot understand it. They say, I want to book direct, and you tell them, look at my profile, and they don't understand it. But in general, it makes it easier. It makes it easier it makes it cheaper. It gives an incentive to potential guests to come and find you directly.
And to be clear as well here is that if you're using, for example, a website that's connecting to your PMS, and your PMS is connected to PriceLabs, it means the pricing we're pushing to your PMS are not going to be sent out to Airbnb and Booking.com and Vrbo, but we're also they will also be pushed to your direct booking website. That's so reason why we're not increasing in PriceLabs everything by 18.34%, because that will make your direct booking prices. Imagine you're taking any commission there. That's why we let you decide. And I think that's so again, that's what's really important to me mention, right? In the end, that's where markups are very important. And your markup is your decision in the end, right? It can be some people can defer or be different or